Hummingbirds off the deep end. We're here at the CCA workbench, and with me is IGFA world record holder Heidi Newt. Now, Heidi, you know, inshore fishing is something that you really enjoy doing. Sometimes we don't fly fish, we actually have to fish with a spinning rod. One of the things you pointed out to me was, y'all's hands are smaller, so why don't you tell the folks at home about how to hold the reel?
Because our hands are smaller, you want to move up, and you want to move your hand up higher on the reel.
So you're gonna slide your fingers, you mean not necessarily have it between here.
Right, you can just move it up.
I got it.
And that way you can have better grip and move up on the reel.
Up on the foot
On the
of the
foot,
rod.
on the foot, right.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk. You have the world record tarpon, the biggest tarpon ever taken by a woman on a fly rod. So we're going to step around the bench there,
Okay.
and we're going to use a little scale here that I got by Rapala. You know, fighting of fish is something that we usually talk about every year on this particular lady show. Move on over that way a little, Heidi. That's perfect right there.
Okay.
That's good. All right, so guys, we're going to turn this Rapala scale on. And more importantly, one of the things that happens here, Heidi, is why don't you tell the people that are watching about this 9-foot fly rod? It's a lot smaller than a lot of conventional rods and spinning rods. So how do we catch a big fish using fly tackle?
What you want to do is use the butt section or the fat part of the rod to fight the fish. That's where you want the bend to be in the rod. The tip of the rod is for casting, so that's not where you want the bend. The bend and where the rod, what it's designed for and where it does all the work is when this is the bend.
Okay, so we get our big fish on. When you caught that 152-pound tarpon on 16, what are some of the techniques that you use?
You want to reel down to the fish.
Right.
Okay, and then you want to pull like this. You want to pull towards his back, and if the fish is swimming to the left, you want to pull right, and if he's pulling right, you want to pull left. So you want to pull in the opposite direction.
Always pull down the fish's back
down
is
the
what you're
fish's
saying.
back. Yes.
Now I noticed that you're eliminating those last 4 or 5 guides there. They seem to be pretty straight. That's in order to eliminate the tip of the rod, is that right?
That's right, that's right.
Now the other thing I'm watching, Heidi, is I'm watching you add a little extra pressure by pinching the line against the cork. Why do you do that?
That adds additional drag, and that puts more pressure on the fish. And so if the fish surges, you want to make sure though that you do let go.
Okay.
But this is going to add additional pressure on fighting fish.
The other thing that I'm noticing is that you're a small woman in stature. What do you weigh?
Well, 110.
Oh, I like it. So, you know what? So I noticed that you're leaning back.
Right. So I'm using my body weight to fight the fish, and my stance, and I'm using my hips, and I'm reeling down to the fish, and then pulling, reeling down and pulling.
Go ahead and pull down there, lock in like you're talking about, pinch that cork. Now look at the scale here, guys. As you can tell, that we're actually pulling 7 pounds of pressure. That's huge for, a fly rod. So again, tell me one more time, not quite clear. If the fish goes to the right, what are we gonna do?
The fish goes to the right, you wanna pull to the left. And if the fish goes to the left, you wanna pull to the right. So you're changing the angles based on where the fish is going.
Well, thank you so much. I've learned so much. Let's go back over here to the workbench. We got one little thing we can touch on real quick. You know, Heidi, there's a lot of new...
Oops, sorry.
It's all right. There's a lot of new little belts. The one thing that I saw for the ladies is that we used this last year, the Williamson belt, but it seemed to work very, very well because it's a pouch that a lot of times a gimbal will fall out of, or some of our spinning rods don't have a pin or a gimbal built into it. The other thing too is certainly in the conventional world, you got to have a fighting belt. It keeps, you guys don't have a lot of meat on your bones down there. At least, that's what we want as men. I want to just tell you that if you're not quite sure. But the key is that certainly a fighting belt is going to keep you guys from being bruised, and that's very, very important.